Facebook. And there we are. Good evening, YouTube, Facebook, social media. Boy, do we have a great program lined up for you tonight. Two World War II vets, Okinawa history, a documentary. We'll get the music started and let everybody in. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us tonight.
Denise needs to be here to that. I know.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Greatest Generation Live for Thursday, May 7th. My name is Sean Hall. I'm the Director of Programming with the Veterans Breakfast Club. It's great to see you all here this evening. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. We have two World War II vets joining us this evening, Okinawa vets. We will be getting to them shortly. I'll let Glenn introduce them. Glenn, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Really excited about tonight's program. Beautiful day in Pittsburgh, and we're ready to roll.
Gorgeous, definitely. I want to take a few minutes of everyone's time just here at the top of the program to say we've been around since 2008. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Our mission is to create communities of listening around veterans and their stories to connect, educate, heal, and inspire. As you can see on your screen, this is our VBC magazine. We send this out quarterly free to any household that we have an address for. So if you don't get it, it's because we don't have your address. Please send that to us. We'll be sure to send you out a copy. We are celebrating the 250th birthday of America, and this issue is filled with stories from veterans from the Revolutionary War. So I've heard great things about it, and please, we'd love to send you a copy if we can get one out to you. That would be awesome. Monday night, we'll be talking about Linebacker 1 during the Vietnam War, the air battle of 1972. That'll be Monday night at 7 p.m. right here on this same Zoom channel. We have an in-person breakfast that will happen on May 13th. This is happening in McCandless at Ridgecrest. We've been there several times, have a great community there, as you can tell from the picture. So if you're able to join us for an in-person breakfast, we'd love to have you. All of our breakfasts, by the way, for this year, we made all of our breakfasts free for anyone to attend. So you could just come, sit down, eat something, and then sit back and listen to veteran stories. There's always a good time. And then next Thursday, this is the following Monday. But Glenn, we have two World War II vets joining us tonight. One we're going to hear the story of tonight. The other we're going to hear next Thursday.
Correct. And I'll explain that in just a second. And maybe a little bit later, Sean, we do have a webpage for James Wheeler's story. We could bring that up, but we'll explain here in a second.
Absolutely. And we are able to provide these programs free tonight, free every Monday night, our free breakfast. We're able to provide that due to the generous support by viewers such as yourself, our donations, grants. So if you are looking to become a supporting member of the VBC, please visit our website, www.veteransbreakfastclub.org. On there, you can become a supporting member for $50 a year, but any level of donation is always welcome, and it helps us to keep these programs free and going week in and week out for your viewing pleasure, as we say. Glenn, I'll hand it off to you because we got a lot to get to tonight.
Yeah, we do. Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Another edition of every Thursday night, Greatest Generation Live, all things World War II. It's been my privilege and honor to host this for now 6 years. Hard to believe, Sean. 6 years we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And tonight, very special night with two World War II veterans, two Battle of Okinawa veterans, and one of which, James Wheeler. James, if just give us a wave there so people know which one is you. There you are, James. James Wheeler, we just met 2 weeks ago, I think, through the good offices of one Colonel Brad Washabaugh. Brad, how are you?
Good. It's so good to see James tonight. And hello, James.
Brad,
glad you could join us and for this special night.
and Brad happens to live just 20 minutes, half an hour from James. So once we knew where he lived and knew he was a World War II veteran, Brad went over and interviewed him. And we have that on a recording that we're going to share with everybody at some point. So we began to dig into James's story, and Beth Beth Ruschel. Let me unmute you, Beth. Sorry we didn't unmute you earlier, Beth. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
Fine, thanks.
Beth, the best World War II researcher on the planet. Maybe we could include the moon and Mars as well, I think. Has been digging into James's story, and we've uncovered a lot of great information that we're just processing and just beginning to understand his full story. So we decided that we will tell James's story next Thursday, May 14th, on our VBC program for next Thursday night. James was a member of the 193rd Tank Battalion, which has a very storied history in World War II. It was a National Guard tank battalion, which something I was not aware of, made up of 3 companies, and I think each company was from a different state. James joined Company C of that tank battalion just before the Battle of Okinawa. He was drafted in 44, if I got that right. And well, 43 now that I think about it. Spent a year in Hawaii training and then ended up with Company C of the 193rd Tank Battalion. And it played a really interesting role in one of the more interesting tank battles of World War II, of which there were not very many in the Pacific. So it really is a unique story. And with Beth's great help, we've dug up a lot of information about that 193rd Tank Battalion and about James's experience. So we decided not to tell James's story tonight with Neal's. We're going to tell it next Thursday. So I'm just a teaser for everybody to know that James will be back with us and we'll spend the whole program with James. But James, welcome. Thank you very much for being on with us tonight. It's an honor to get to know you a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay. And then our guest tonight is Neal McCallum. Neal, give us a wave of the hand and say hello to everybody, please.
Hello, everyone, wherever you are located.
Neal is in talking with Neal the other day. He's in Tampa, Florida. So we're going to be seeing Neal in December live at our World War II conference in Tampa, Florida, which we're going to begin rolling out the information on that here in the next few weeks. But we've got Neal nailed down as our first veteran who's agreed to attend. Thank you so much, Neal.
Yes, thank you. And I'm also originally from North Carolina, not too far from Durham, in the Pinehurst area.
You must have been a good golfer. Did you play Pinehurst?
Too many sand spurs there.
I know. I was in every one of them a few years ago, back when I could still play. Neal, it's a pleasure to have you on. We did have Neal on 2, maybe 3 years ago, and we told some of his story then. If you remember, we had him on with Henry Sledge.
Yes, I do remember that quite well.
Yeah, Henry is Eugene Sledge, son, his youngest son.
Yes, I think he wrote the best book of the Pacific War.
Yes, with the Old Breed.
Yes, of course. Yes, very famous.
Yeah, that was used as a source for the miniseries on HBO, The Pacific.
Yes.
So if anybody has seen that, which I highly recommend to all of you to watch, it's difficult to watch because the combat scenes are very, very realistic, at least from a non-combatant's point of view. I imagine it was even worse if you were there. But it's just a fascinating look at our history in a live, film. Well, it's actually a mini series, as I would call it. That tells you how old I am. I still think of these things as mini series. So what we're going to do tonight is I have just a few slides I want to share with Neal and get his comments on them. Just 5 or 10 minutes till we get so we can understand his basic story, and then there's a film that a organization called the Best Defense Fund started by a man named Donnie Edwards,
Foundation.
the Best Defense Foundation. Sorry, Neal, thank you. Which is a fascinating foundation that I had not known until we saw this film. And it's a 35-minute film, and it's a film about Donnie Edwards, who's the creator and the founder of the Best Defense Foundation, taking Neal back to Okinawa and revisiting Okinawa and meeting quite a few interesting people in Okinawa. And we'll play that after we get the basic story of Neal on the table here. Okay? So let me share my screen so people can see it, because I don't want to assume that everybody has a real solid understanding of the Battle of Okinawa. So I just want to spend a few minutes going through the basics. Okay? So the Battle of Okinawa was the last real definitive battle of the Pacific War. The U.S. forces comprised of it was called the 10th Army, but it was comprised of both Marine divisions and U.S. Army divisions, landed on April 1st, which not only was April Fool's Day, it was Easter Sunday on Okinawa. And you can see here they landed in sort of the central part of Okinawa. The Marines, the 1st Marine Division and the 6th Marine Division turned north. And I should say that the landing was pretty much unopposed. It was not like at some of the other island battles that occurred in the Pacific where the Japanese contested the landing. They pretty much did not contest it. Very few U.S. casualties in the first few days. And the 1st Marine Division and the 6th Marine Division basically turned north to find the Japanese. The Army divisions, along with the 193rd, turned south to find the Japanese. Neal, how was that going north into the northern part of the island?
Well, it was kind of an action that was taking place, but not well organized until we got to the mountain area. And there it was very difficult for logistics and ammo, supplies, the whole thing. And we didn't really know what we were doing. We never had mountain training. You don't get that in the South Pacific. And so we attacked the north from north and south and east and west. And we neutralized the northern part of Okinawa. Many Japanese soldiers were able to escape and hide, and even for a year or so afterward. That's kind of fascinating in itself.
Yeah.
And so we thought our mission was over with. We were thinking about going to our new quarters on Guam. And as it turned out, the South needed help. When the Army landed the same day as we did, we were a total of 80,000 troops. And we had the 96th Division and the 7th Division to land the first day. And then about the 11th of April or somewhere along there, James can correct me on this, the 27th Division was landed. General Buckner, the commander of the 10th Army, two divisions against the South was not enough. So he put in the 3rd Division, and that was James' division. And they took up a position on the west side of Okinawa, which is the East China Sea side.
Right here. Yeah, yeah. And as it turned out, the Japanese had decided that they would put their defenses up in depth on the southern side of the island.
That's correct.
That's where the majority of the Japanese were, and that's where they decided to defend until the death, as they did on many of these islands in the South Pacific. Okay. And we're not here to tell the whole story of the battle, just a little bit about it to put, because it's a long story. And we've actually had probably 4 or 5 programs on Okinawa over the years. Okay.
Yes.
So the 6th Marine Division eventually turned south, right?
That's correct. We turned south. We relieved the 27th Division, James's division,
Right,
which had a rough go at the Kakuzu
right,
and other areas, and they don't get enough credit, I think, for that.
right.
And I want to ask James some questions, but much later.
Okay. So just a couple more slides because as the 6th Marine Division fought south, along with the 1st Marine Division, along with the Army divisions that were still there, they ran into this. I think this is a map, an aerial map that I found, and this is Sugar Loaf Hill and Horseshoe Hill over here. The terrain was incredibly difficult, incredibly mountainous, incredibly muddy. Um, Neal, does that look familiar to you?
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't see it, but I have seen that film before, picture before many times, and yes, and it's best described as we were attacking from the northeast and we were attacking southeast, and Half Moon or the crescent is on our left hand, and on our right hand is the horseshoe, and Sugarloaf was like a spear on the point of a spear, and the two veins would be on the right vein would be Half Moon, and on the left vein would be the horseshoe.
Right, right. So, Neal, this is where you were wounded on, I think, was it May 14th? Do I have that
May
right?
May 19th.
May 19th. May 19th.
As my regiment was being relieved, and we had to go through. There was a counter. The entrance up to Okinawa to Sugarloaf were like little valleys, and anyway, there was one valley to make access to Sugarloaf. We called it Death Valley, because in the exchange of reinforcements, we lost a lot of people to heavy artillery fire.
Yeah, yeah. The terrain was just horrific. I mean, there's another shot. I'm not sure you can see it, Neal, but I know our audience can. I mean, I'm not sure I could walk up that on a sunny, nice day with a picnic on my back, much less fight your way up that hill with people shooting at you. So this was the Battle of Sugarloaf Hill. Neal is injured on May the 19th. Neal,
That's correct.
how bad was your injury, Neal?
Well, it was $1 million wound, as we called it. I got hit by a 6-inch Japanese naval gun that was taken off of ships, and I got hit in the right calf, and it was a through and through wound, and I lay there, and my buddies came up to me and wanted to help me. The corpsman came up and ran everybody off, and gave me a surret, and then the rest was over with. I felt like $1 million.
And yeah, with that Surrett in you. And Neal, how old were you at that point?
I just turned 18.
Just. So at what age? You joined the Marines at age 17.
17 with permission from one parent.
I imagine it was your father, not your mother.
That's correct. I had 4 elder brothers already in the military in Europe.
Yeah, yeah. What made you want to join at such an early age, Neal?
Oh, I think there's many factors to that. I would say the film Guadalcanal that was put out in 1943. I saw that film, and I think that film uh, attracted maybe over 500,000 Marines.
Yeah. One of the best, if you want to call it propaganda film or recruiting film
Oh,
ever
indeed.
made.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody wanted to have that moniker, a Marine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Guadalcanal was the first land counter offensive of the war,
Yeah.
and it was dicey, as you know. But I don't think you want to go there.
No, we got more than enough to talk about with your story on Okinawa. So, once you were wounded, Neal, and taken care of on the battlefield, what happened to you?
Well, I was placed into an army hospital, and I remember the doctor's name, Dr. Foch, and he said, "I've cleaned out your wound. You had coral. The whole island of Okinawa is pretty much coral. I had coral sand in there, and the hospital was nothing but a pit that was not carved out with with the bulldozer, and a tent over the top, and a light hanging down, and but it was first class medical treatment, and I think we had in World War II. I think we had excellent treatment.
Yeah, yeah. And eventually you're evacuated back to the States.
Well, I took my first airplane ride to Guam, and when I got to Guam and got settled in, I saw half of my company there.
Yeah.
They were already there.
Casualties were just so high.
Yes, extremely high.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to get Neal's, basic story on the table, if you would. But let me just share one last picture with you, actually two. So that's Sugarloaf Mountain as it was, or hill as it was in 1945. A couple other shots of it. And I ran into this earlier today when I was putting this together, and I just flabbergasted. That's Sugarloaf Hill today. And Neal, you visited Sugarloaf last year, Sugarloaf Hill again last year.
I did.
How can it, how did you feel about seeing such an incredible development of the area that you fought in?
Well, I was at peace with that because I had been back in the year 2000 when some political event, international event was going on. And so I knew pretty much what was happening all along. It doesn't bother me, but I must say that the doctor, retired Army doctor that went with us, she dropped her glasses down in the grass and so forth. She picked them up, and she picked up 4 spent cartridges.
Oh, jeez.
3 of them were Japanese and one M1.
And that was in 2000 or so?
No, this was in last year.
Last year in 25. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's still loaded with stuff, even hand grenades and things, I'm sure. And so the Japanese would not let us put anything up on our own, and so instead they put up in English and Japanese. And I looked at it, and I'm satisfied with what it says in English. What happened there? So I think it's fair-minded.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, it was just such an incredible contrast.
Yes, this is the the chief of operations, the colonel for the Japanese Army, said this was, they called this Hill 52, and that this was the biggest. They were bragging about how many Marines they had killed, and they had lost much more than we had. But they sent that to their headquarters, which was located in Formosa, called Formosa at the time, now Taiwan.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So unless there's any questions at the moment, And I think what we'll do is we're just going to go straight to the film that Neal made with the Best Defense Foundation, a man named Donnie Edwards, who, interesting enough, is a former National Football League player.
Oh, yes, a
13
very,
years.
very well known.
Yeah, 13 years. Um, I've watched this film. I know Beth, who found it for us, has watched it. It's really a fascinating film. It's 35 minutes long, and it's about Neal's return to Okinawa last year with Donnie Edwards. And so, Sean, let's play the film. We'll come back
Absolutely.
afterwards for a Q&A.
Will do. I'm going to mute everybody here. Let me share. Give me 1 second, everyone. Let's make sure we got it all set up. And Glenn, let me know everything is rolling.
Okay. Looking good. Yep. Just
Great.
perfect.
What's the most important thing that you've personally learned from your time in the war?
I was proud to represent the U.S. Marine Corps and America, and it was a great honor for me to be able to do that. I'm very proud of that. This was a defining time in my life. Donnie Edwards said, "Neal, are you sure you want to do this?" And I said, absolutely. If it was the end of my life, I still wanted to do it.
Everybody's individual war is through their lens, right?
I came close to dying here. I think about this battle every day.
It's an honor to bring you back here, back to Okinawa,
Yeah.
80 years later.
It very well could have been a victory for the Japanese. Our commanding general had one card left to play. We weren't exactly fighting for Uncle Sam or the U.S. Marine Corps. We were fighting for each other.
And it's about fighting for the guy next to you. He's fighting for you to stay alive.
I will never forget being here.
Want to hear a story, Neal?
Lots of stories. Well, I don't know where to begin, but my name is Neal McCallum. I was born March 10, 1927 in Star, North Carolina. I grew up during the tail end of the Depression. I didn't know that we had hardships because everyone did, you know. We had the war going on, and I had 4 brothers that were already in the military service, and I wanted to do my part. So I joined the Marine Corps, but I had to get permission of my parents. I went to boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. From there, I went to North Carolina and took a troop train to San Diego, California. On August 17th, we departed San Diego for a cruise to Guadalcanal. There, I trained for 7 months. Arduous training. We were happy to leave Guadalcanal. Once we were aboard ship, we were told that we were going to Okinawa. And we arrived at Okinawa in the early morning hours, April Fool's Day, 1945. I turned 18 3 or 4 days before we landed here on April 1st, 1945. I thought I knew everything.
Here we are, Green Beach, April 1st, 2025. 80 years from when you and your brothers came on this beach, Neal.
I can tell you, right over there is where we went. We came up there. We landed on LCIs. We had to walk in the water maybe 20 or 30 feet.
Under the threat of fire and burdened by duty, you stepped into history, not for glory, but for God, family, country, freedom, and as you always say, Neal, for one another. The wind that brushes the water is the same one that carried the sounds of war and now it carries our gratitude. We honor your sacrifice, Neal, your service and your presence here today for you and for all you represent and all those who can no longer speak. You came ashore as a young Marine, and you return as a hero, forever part of this land, Okinawa's history. Thank you, Marine.
I do thank
Semper
you.
Fi, and welcome home.
I do thank you very much indeed.
So what they're playing right now, they're talking about the 80th anniversary of the start of the Okinawa battle.
Yes.
So that's what you hear right now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and you're standing right here.
Yes,
Standing
indeed.
right here, 80 years later.
Yes.
Representing the United States Marine
Yes,
Corps,
yes.
your regiment, your company. all
I've
your
come back
brothers.
this time as a friend who admired the Okinawa and Japanese people. We knew how to speak some Japanese words.
Like what?
Well, susame,
Susame,
yeah, detakoi.
Tatakoi. So what was the preparation like before you left the ship to get on the landing craft to come here?
We knew what we had to do, climb down the ladder, the rope ladder.
The rope, right?
And getting to the LCIs, and the coxswain just brought us ashore, I remember that very well there.
Let me get you close. Let me get you on level ground. You might have to walk up though,
Yeah.
but we'll help you.
This is where 24,000 Marines landed in one day. And we had 6 Marines who were also with the Navy UDT. The Navy is great for dropping off Marines.
Yeah.
Take
you guys
them,
are good for
take them
doing
on
what you do.
on a cruise.
Take it on.
I had to be here for all those that were lost. I think about them every day. This is in tribute to all the men of the 6th Marine Division, especially those who perished on this island in the name of freedom and liberty and justice. The ones that died are the real heroes. Their lives were cut short. They never had opportunities like I had to get married, raise a family, get an education, prosper a little bit in the world, and to have a full life. We stayed in place for 3 days, and we watched kamikaze arrive and bomb our naval ships that were in the harbor. It was like the 4th of July. And we must not forget what happened on Okinawa, and we should benefit from the lessons that we learned from here.
What are you hoping most to get out of this trip?
I've said this once before, if there are any dark corners in my mind about things there, I no longer have them. A visit like this erases any darkness you have about the war. It just means a lot to me. Going to Peace Park, seeing all the names of guys that were Marines in my company, and I consider it a great responsibility to represent the 6th Marine Division Association.
Sometimes you think about this, did all this have to be done in order to get to where we are today, 80 years later? You know what I mean?
Yeah, was it necessary? This is the Peace Park at near Mabuna. Here, all the participants and innocent civilians, all their names are on these walls here. Okinawan civilians had at least 115,000.
Looking at all these names.
Yeah.
I mean, these are lives, right?
Yes,
So these are lives, these are families.
yes.
You know, we can't read it, but yet at the same time, you look at this and you know that it's a
That was someone.
casualty of war. And that's something that you always talked about too, was it was the civilians.
Yeah, that's a lot of lives who walked on this earth. I regret, and all Americans regret, the loss of civilian life. And we tried our best to prevent that. And we lament all this has happened, We wish that it had not happened, And not to repeat this, ever. It's a sad thing that we have to have war, that we can't solve things diplomatically. There are still a few Marines who refuse to stop hating. I say it's not the way to go in life, and it will take you down, and you will most likely not live a very happy life nor a long life. Fox Company has got a lot of names on the people that I know here on these walls. Oh, Ernest M., yes. That's, yeah. That, Junior, yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes, that's him, yes. Bailey Ernest M. Jr. We called each other by our last names, and they called me Mac. The next name I'd like to look at is my company commander. His name is Robert Bill Fowler. He got killed on June 12th. We got all these eyes on there, and we cannot.
Oh, we found him.
Oh, good. Okay, Captain Fowler.
There he is.
Yes, sir. Give him a salute. He was a great leader, and these are the ones that we left behind, and these are the real heroes, you know. Anybody can get wounded. That's not a big problem. Just about every one of us had a Purple Heart. On the 3rd of April, we got orders to move and take the northern part of Okinawa, the Matoba Peninsula, and that's what we did. And we went cautiously. There was some guerrilla warfare fighting, and we had never had mountain training before. We were a little bit befuddled by all of that. When we attacked Mount Yutaki, we attacked from all 4 cardinal directions. One regiment here, another regiment there, another battalion there, and so on. We maintained close relationships with the sister company. The difficulty there was getting supplies and ammo and water. We had casualties, of course, and it was the first time that I saw any dead Marines. Stacked maybe 3. You can see contorted legs. They tried to cover their face. They didn't want to see the expressions, but a lot of them you could see anyway. I suppose to the grave registration people, it was like their job and didn't bother them much, but it sure bothered me, and maybe a little bit today too, you know. I think about the ones that never came home, young like me, and never had a chance in life. Be proud of yourselves and your country. Don't let detractors take you away from that. I stopped hating Japanese in I believe it was 1981 or 1983. I had a RON in Osaka, Japan. There I was met by some school children, and they were saying endearments to me, like, "Hello, mister, I love you," and things like that. And I thought, well, it's time now to stop hating. Boy, this is great. I bought my first Japanese car that year. I understand that I'm going to meet a former prisoner of war, and it's quite possible that we fought directly against one another at Sugar Loaf Hill.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry.
沖縄にね、遠いアメリカからおいでいただいて大変ありがとうございます。そして戦争中のね、沖縄と今ともう様変わりしてますので、沖縄のね、この繁栄をぜひご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日本当にありがとうございます。
It's an honor to meet you, Mr. Togaji. I would like to ask you a few questions, and maybe you would like to ask me a few questions. Tell me how you were taken prisoner, and ask him how did we treat him?
アメリカ兵はあなたをどのように扱いましたか？
一応ね、まず
He was taken to the ship. He was taken to Hawaii, and the voyage to Hawaii was the worst experience ever.
Oh.
But he's very modest person. He says that I don't want to speak here.
Yes.
But after arriving at Hawaii, he was treated as a regular POW. How do you feel about this?
Well, sir, first of all, I'm glad that you survived the voyage. I thought that we should treat you a little better than that. You were a prisoner of war. We're friends now. We're not enemies. I can tell that he's a peace-loving man, and so am I. And I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of Marines that know that I'm coming here, and they would say the same, pretty much the same as I said. I wish you a long life, and let's hope that our children do learn that war is a horrible thing.
His question is,
どこから上陸して
when you landed in Okinawa 80 years ago,
Near Zarpe,
near the
Zarpe.
Kadena Air Force?
Yes, and we went towards Yamitan,
Yamitan.
Yantan. Yes,
I live
Yes.
Yomitan now.
I was wounded on 19 May at Sugar Loaf, near Sugar Loaf,
Sugar Loaf, yeah.
through the legs, through both sides of the legs. A 150 millimeter
I'm
gun.
sorry.
What?
He said, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
歌の一節に「昨日の敵は今日の友」という歌があるんですね。
There had to be a better way of solving these problems, between countries, This is not the way to do it. That was my 18-year-old observation.
As we sit here in this serene spot right now, and you reflect back to being back in Okinawa, when you were here 80 years ago and seeing all the devastation, all the death, coming back here, you see the vibrantness, you see the life is going strong here in Okinawa.
Yeah.
Hello, morning light. Climbing through my windowsill, dancing on the tile, warming up winter's chill. Somehow I feel better than before.
Oh, that's cool.
あ、すごい方が。
Yeah. Here's a couple more.
Me,
そうなんだ。
my life, the back.
おお、そうなんだ。ありがとうございます。頂戴しておきます。いや、ありがとうございます。
Hello, afternoon. Filling up this living room,
Like, this is all the stuff that they find in their field.
calming me back down.
It's amazing. It's unimaginable.
When no one else is around, and quiet is the sound.
Look at that, 1945, U.S.
It makes me feel better than before.
Neal was only 17 years old.
Yes. Yes. A great honor. I hope you live a long life.
She was explaining to us about Ernie Pyle. Oh, here we are. I mean, think about how big the world is, and we know how significant this battle was here in Okinawa.
Ernie, if you're listening, it's a great honor to be here to honor your life, your service to us. He was a great patriot, and he was with us on mainland Okinawa.
Hello, evening moon.
Thank you, Ernie Pyle. I salute you.
Slipping through the blinds.
One day, Ernie Pyle, we might see you again. It turned out that the Army needed some help in the South, and they used two Army divisions. They were crack divisions, the 96 Deadeyes and the 7th Hourglass Division. They lost a number of people, and they had 30 tanks and lost 23 of them in one day. And so it was decided to remove them and put them in the north, and that the 1st Marine Division and the 6th Marine Division would come up abreast of the two Army divisions. The drive was hard. As we went forward, the lines became more difficult. The positions were more hardened. They were in caves, and we had to dig them out.
Did you go in that tunnel? I wouldn't go in that tunnel. It's amazing that they'll just like build into the ground. Oh, wow. And it's just made out of the land too, right? Because the Germans kind of made it like with their concrete and rebar.
Yeah.
Here it's just like out of the rock.
The Japanese could see through their big eyes and the bird's eye view of everything. They knew everything we were doing. They tried a counter-offensive, not against us, but against the Army on 5 May, and it didn't work. They expended a lot of ammunition. So now comes Sugarloaf, they only have a few rounds, you know, so they would fire like 3 rounds at a time. But one of those shells could wipe out 15 or 20 Marines. It's the greatest honor in my life is to be here with the Marine Corps. There was 2 Marine divisions here, the 6th and the 1st Marine, famous 1st Marine Division, and the 7th Division. All these were fought, all these troops that I just mentioned fought on that Shuri defense line. We were on the East China Sea side, and the 7th Division was on the eastern Pacific side. We were all moving in the same direction. And quite a few people perished in taking these various hills and caves. Eventually we came, the 6th Marine Division. One of our battalion commanders named these strong points as Sugar Loaf Hill.
We are in Naha, we are in Okinawa. We are on our way over to a place that frankly means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Going to a place where you got wounded. What's going through your mind right now?
It's honoring the ones that we left behind that got killed, and I'll be thinking about that. And I have a special kinship with the Okinawan people. It was a defining moment in my life, no doubt.
Looks different than it was 80 years ago for sure, right?
Exactly.
It still remains the same though. I mean,
Yes.
although you can put a water tower on there and not put a memorial.
It's important that we remember Okinawa and the people who perished there. Their casualties were the most numerous of all of them.
Especially here in Okinawa.
Yes. I think we did a good job with the Japanese and the Okinawan people and made friends of them instead of enemies.
But at the same time, it is your reality though.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
because my grandfather, he served
Yeah,
in the
yes.
Pacific. Even when I was a young kid, he used to call the Japanese a name,
Yes,
and
yes.
I said, Grandpa,
Yes.
you can't say that.
Yeah.
And he says, if you saw what I saw, what they did
Yes.
to our brothers,
Yes.
I can say whatever I want.
Yes. Hatred would take you down. You will not have a happy life, and you most likely won't live a long one.
Looks like we're coming up on Sugarloaf. Looks a lot different, huh? I don't think this hotel was right here next to us.
I'm afraid it wasn't. It's made into a park.
Okay.
This is Sugarloaf Hill. Not much of it is left from what it originally looked like. Thankfully, it's been preserved for memoir for both enemy and friends. A lot of American Marines died here and a lot of the Japanese. This was the biggest loss for the Japanese Army and also the biggest loss for the Americans in number of killed in action and wounded in action. Yeah, I've seen a lot of dead Marines just before going up to Sugarloaf. That's a burning image in my mind.
So we just arrived here in Sugarloaf. Ready, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. Arms and legs in the vehicle.
Yeah. We attacked from the northwest, and we were attacking southeast. That's where the Japanese were. They were on this stronghold. To them, it was Hill 52.
And you guys called it Sugarloaf.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Because we had poor maps, but the map had like a target number, like 1468G.
That's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought this area was bigger.
Yeah, well, it was bigger. It's been shaved down quite a bit.
Okay.
They had an enormous reserve of troops in caves down below. Ammunition, medical equipment.
What was the significance of keeping this place? Like, why was it so important to the Japanese and for the Marines to overtake this?
This was the anchor for the 32nd Army. If we were to break through this, we would outflank the Japanese army, and Shuri Castle would be caught into an entrapment.
And that was all tied into the Shuri line?
Yes. Now, we were attacking from the north and northwest, and we were attacking in the direction of southeast. And we were going to come behind Shuri and trap the headquarters. We would either fight it, duke it out there, or they would move to another defensive position in the south, which they did, because they saw the threat. They could attack from there, and they could attack from over there. Think of this as a spear, an arrow. This is the point of the arrow. The vein of Half Moon would be there. Horseshoe Ridge would be the other vein. I brought grenades not quite halfway up the hill. It was a grenade fight too. And we could not use machine guns because you'd be shooting at Marines in front of you. They were worthless, and we used mortars, and that's where I came in. We were on the forward slope. That's where we dropped our shells.
Okay.
And
so you're just basically launching mortars just to the other side of the hill.
That's right. But we had
just on this side.
Had to be very, very careful.
Yeah, because you're close to your own guys.
Yes. We had 3 mortars, and our position would be, my position would be right over there. Well, we're looking for my position on Sugar Loaf Hill, at the Horseshoe, the Crescent. I'm thinking it's almost 90 degrees. We'll just say like 86.
You have a card, Neal?
Yes, $1 a piece.
$1 a piece.
Little bio on the back there. Right in this area here on Mount Shuri, they had 6-inch and mostly 6-inch and a few 8-inch guns. These are naval guns taken off of ships and then placed here. And they got a big blast, big jolt. We were all of one mind and together. We did have fist fights and things like that after being there a long time. My leg aches a little bit every day, but it's a small price to be alive. I'm 98 years old now. I wish you guys good luck, and we're counting on you. Now, in this battle, the Japanese used the 62nd Division, one of their crack divisions, against us. They used the 44th Independent Mixed Brigade, and they also used 4,000 suicide troops, and also they sent 2,000 to infiltrate behind us.
And
They'll
come at nighttime, right?
Yes, they come and go through the marshes.
Wow.
But we were ready for them. We had amphibious tractors that had guns and machine guns. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example of a typical day. If we were not pushed off this hill, we abandoned it. Now we're calling in our ships to bring in the big stuff in here. And we pound the hell out of this place here.
You always think about war distance, right? You're launching weapons, you're dropping bombs, your rifles against each other from a distance. But when that war comes up close and personal, hand-to-hand combat, fixed bayonets, take out your K-bar.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, yes.
I mean, that is really personal.
And we were trained for that, yes.
Yeah, but how do you deal with that as a 17-year-old, Neal?
I will say this, that the 17, 18, and 19-year-olds, they wanted to go in, and I think some of them wanted to go in and get some glory, get some medals. But after a while, I think that wore off. It very well could have been a victory for the Japanese, but General Shepard, our commanding general, had one card left to play. We had the 4th Marine Regiment. It was composed of old Raider battalions, paratroopers that never jumped out of a plane.
Right.
And that was a mighty card we did play. And that 4th Marines, they drove all the way down to the Kakuba River and Naha. This was captured on the 18th by Dog Company of my battalion. They knew they were going to lose, but they were buying time for the homeland to prepare for the final battle. The soldiers were good fighters so forth. They didn't fear one bit for their life. But we did, you know. We tried to stay alive, you know.
We wanted to go back home and watch baseball and take
right, exactly. We were getting ready to go to the rear for some rest and relaxation. We were going and they were coming. And the big eyes on Mount Shuri, where these big guns were, they still had some ammunition. And so they opened up on all this activity. About after 3 rounds, I got skewered in my right leg. I got a $1 million wound. Through and through. So they flew me to Guam, my first airplane ride. I think the more young people know about what happened here will help them in their world. My generation is going, expiring, and maybe they can learn something from this, all of us.
8 years ago, my father started to headquarters, Chile.
His father fought here on Sugar Loaf.
Thank you, sir. That's very, very kind of you.
There is one request from him. Please shake hands on behalf of his father.
That is, I mean, you talk about peace and reconciliation. That's exactly what it's about, you know what I mean? Once enemies, now friends.
I will never forget being here. Well, Donnie, I want to thank you. You've just been a treasure in our hearts. You're taking veterans back, it doesn't matter wherever, you know, to their foxholes, as you put it. And I've never seen a spirit quite like this. So I salute you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's
an honor.
Great.
It's an honor. You give kids like me an opportunity to live the American dream.
I think I came home a better person and a little more mature, and I was very proud of what I had done, although it was nothing more than any other Marine or soldier had done. I'm at peace with the world. It's what I call a good thing. I guess it was just right after COVID that I found out about the Best Defense Foundation, which was founded by a great football player with records, Donnie Edwards, and his wife, Catherine, also.
I know some of you lied about your age. Gil Nato, as I know, lied about his height, but all they wanted to do was to fight, to defend this country. And because of what you guys did with the greatest generation, you guys provided this opportunity and the freedom that we all enjoy today. And we never, ever forget you. So thank you so much for your service, and make sure you relay this message to the next generation.
I'm living my best life. I wake up with the sunrise. It does not look a thing like I thought that it would. I'm living my best life. Yeah, living my best life.
I've been traveling with the Best Defense Foundation to Normandy in France. And I went back to honor my brother who was killed in Germany but buried in France. Bonjour la France. Bonjour la Normandie. I was on the island Guadalcanal training for the Battle of Okinawa. But my mother and father did give you 4 of my elder brothers. 3 landed at Utah Beach, and 1 was in the air, covering the air from La Manche to Malta.
I'd like to tell you something shortly about my favorite part of this program, and that is the night when I became Neal's caregiver together with Riley Peterson. We got told that we were going to be the caregiver of someone, we didn't know yet who, and then we got told it was Neal McCallum. Neal, we were very proud to be your caregiver. It was an absolute honor to serve you. Thank you.
Oh, I've met so many friends, and I can't keep up with it. And the kids were just great. They're just wonderful, and they are learning too.
Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, on behalf of my husband, Emmanuel Macron, President of the Republic, and of myself, welcome to France. I would like to express to you, dear veterans, and to your brothers in arms, our deepest respect and my deepest love. Thank you.
You've made my life. You are everything and more than I thought you would be. You now have made me famous.
All right, Marine. All right, Marine.
Doing good.
Hoorah. Yeah. So you went on to Okinawa, huh?
Yeah.
That was a tough battle, huh?
Yes, it was the longest one in the Pacific.
Yeah. Hear that? The Army got bogged down. The Marines had to come.
Thank you for what you're doing for our country.
Thank you for paving the way for us.
No way.
Oh, did you?
No way.
Wow.
This looks like a M1, 30-06.
Where did you find it?
No way.
That's amazing. Every day of my life, I have thought about Okinawa and the ones that we left behind. It has brought a closing. I know that we're now at peace with the world.
Okay, Sean, thanks.
Sure thing.
Wow, that is the second time I've watched that, and both times it brings goosebumps on the back of my neck and almost a tear to my eyes. Really, really have to thank Donnie Edwards and the Best Defense Foundation and all his people for doing that movie with Neal, that film with Neal. But also, as I understand it, he's done many, many other films with other veterans, World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans. And I'm hoping that we could have him or someone from his organization on one of our programs in the future here to tell us more about what they do. Our missions are very similar, tell veteran stories. So thanks so very much to Donnie and the Best Defense Fund. Neal, boy, that leaves me emotionally wrecked. I can't imagine how you must have felt. Oh, we got to unmute Neal.
He's muted.
Neal?
Yeah, just someone can help on Neal's side to unmute his phone, please. We can't do it, can we, Sean?
No, I can't unmute him. I can ask him to unmute.
Yeah. Can anybody hear other than Neal on that side, please? Give us a moment. We'll get Neal unmuted.
There we go.
Yeah, here we are.
There we are, Neal. Yeah, if you heard my question, Neal, I'll repeat it.
Yeah, no, I heard it, and I kind of was a little bit moved myself at times, but I am proud and stand behind what I said, and I look forward to seeing more of this. And we thank you for Donnie Edwards and the similar work that you're doing. And I can't say enough about it.
Well, let me ask the audience for questions, and let me recognize Bob. Did Mike Senko make it on this program? Is he on the?
We have to unmute the McGowans.
Oops.
Ask him to unmute. Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. We'll ask you to unmute one more time. My bad. There we go.
I invited Mike, but I didn't know if he responded. I sent him a text. So
I see Mike Fallon. Who is you looking for?
Mike Senko. S-E-N-K.
Okay, I do not see Senko.
Thank you, Bob and Carol, for helping us coordinate your friend Neal for the show. I can't thank you enough. They were the catalyst that got Neal. They were the connection there. Neal said it's his adopted family.
Yeah.
So let's let the audience ask questions. I see a few names with USMC right after the name. Mike Fallon, I'm going to pick on you since you have USMC right after your name. I've asked you to unmute.
Well, I just would like to compliment Neal, how much us younger dudes respect the Marines of the 6th Marine Division. And I wanted to ask him, how many days did they attack Sugar Loaf before they actually took it? I guess he left before that happened. But how long did it take to take it, Neal?
Well, the 11th of May until the 19th of May what was mostly what we're talking about here. It was discovered early as a strong point and noted, and it became a strong point indeed.
Brad, watch while you have. Brad, I'll ask you to unmute.
Neal, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I wanted to ask you, what was your job? What was your billet in the Marine Corps?
60 millimeter mortarman.
Did you get a chance? Okay.
A very lethal upfront weapon.
Did you get a chance to fire it much? Was it direct fire, or did you lay it in on aiming phase?
No, we don't. As a rule, we don't do direct fire with that. We do high angle fire, and instead of having a trajectory, it comes straight down.
Were you the gunner, the loader, or what?
Well, I've been all of it. We're trained to do all of it. I did all of it. I was mostly the gunner, and we also flew. We had candles that we would create light at night, and white phosphorus, and a number of things.
Brad and Neal, for those of us who have not fired a 60 millimeter motor, what does the gunner do?
Well, the gunner mostly looks at the range table and decides how much powder is on the base and sides of the mortar shell. And that's very important, because if you put too much, it's wrong, and if you take less, it's wrong. And so it's a very simple operation. We have a sight. That's what the gunner does. The gunner puts the sight on, reads the range table, makes the adjustments, and then he tells the assistant gunner, fire. And so he drops the shell into the base of the tube, and there's a shotgun. There's a firing pin at the base, and then there's increments of powder on the vanes on the side. It's a simple operation, but I learned a lot at my age about azimuths, and we did things on meals to the right and so many meals to the left. But that system is long gone.
It sounds like Neal could fire the mortar right now if we put it in front of him. His description is spot on.
I could. The mortar right now, they still use it.
Yes,
it only weighs 32 pounds. Ours weighed 42 pounds.
Yes.
So they've lessened the burden. It's burdensome to take the bipods, because it digs into your shoulders when you march.
You remember everything, Neal. Thank you so much, sir.
If you've watched that series, The Pacific, Eugene Sledge was a 60 millimeter motorman.
Yes, he was, and an humble man, and a great man.
Yep, and a great writer.
Oh, indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I see Al Smith with his hand raised electronically. Al, thank you.
Yeah, Neal, it's my honor to be able to talk with you. I understand a little bit what you're talking about. When Vietnam, for 3 months, I had a mortar platoon, so I speak your language.
Yes.
Although mortars, unfortunately, in Vietnam, kill some people with friendly fire, but we did what we could do.
Yeah.
My question, Neal, is in Okinawa, who had air superiority?
Oh, absolutely. We did. No question about it. Now, but I think maybe you might be talking about kamikaze planes. They would as many as 350 arrive at one time, and some were kamikazes, and others were destined to come back. And they attacked mostly in the eve and early evening, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was spectacular to look at, and yet a lot of people were dying. The Navy had more casualties than the Marines and Army. They had 52,000, I think, 800 casualties, and we owe a lot to the U.S. Navy because that's a long way from the United States. If you're going from Maine to Okinawa, you're going like 7,000 or 8,000 miles. And to bring all those, we brought rice. The 10th Army brought rice and milk for babies and so forth. We learned that lesson after Saipan, where there were Japanese civilians there. And we wanted to show how civil and how we intended to get the faith of the Okinawan people and put them into internment camps and let them out in the daytime, and at nighttime they could come in and get security.
Let me ask Carol Popchak. You had a note in the chat, Carol, about a Roland Green. You wanted to remember him and his harrowing Okinawa stories. Carol, who was Roland Green?
Actually, Glenn, his name is Roland Glenn.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. My eyes are terrible. Roland Glenn.
And I think Raleigh just passed away a couple of years ago, and he was a regular on the VBC, and was the soldier who helped me better understand PTSD in the World War II veterans. And we became kind of email buddies for a while. We kept in touch after I made contact with him through VBC. And I don't know if Neal can relate to this story or not, but this is one that always sticks in my mind that Raleigh shared in his book, and I think with the VBC audience. He had high praise for the training he received in the Marine Corps. And yet on Okinawa, he said that what made him a survivor and what enabled him to lead his men successfully was the skills his uncle taught him hunting in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. That he learned how to be almost level on the ground with just very little slight hills, surrounding him. That his uncle taught him and his brother, I think, how to really sneak up on your game. And he commented on how often he used that in Okinawa. Neal, can you relate to that?
Yes, I can. And well, I grew up hunting and so forth. I had a shotgun, Ivory Johnson from Sears and Roebuck. When I was 15, I liked to shoot quail. We had a dog that would, that's interesting to work with a dog hunting and so forth. But I would like to, you mentioned something about PTSD. And if I haven't covered this before, please correct me. But the Navy doctors were ready this time for people who were falling out to the back. And the ones that were stumbling off the lines, these were veterans of 2 and 3 different battles, and you would think that they would be the ones that wouldn't, but they were, and the young people tended not to be. And what it was is that they were old, and you're old at 25, and you've been through all these battles, and it's your time, it's coming, and so they stumbled out to the rear. All they needed, the doctors were ready. They needed some respect, and they were treated with respect. They had showers, and they slept probably for about a day or so, and after 3 or 4 days, everyone, with possibly a few exceptions, went back to the line. That was miraculous and a way to treat PTSD.
Very interesting.
Thank you for bringing that up, Neal. I want to recognize, I just saw him, that he's on the program, Russell Freeberg. Russell, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, Glenn.
Neal and James, while you two were fighting the Japanese on Okinawa, Russell was finishing off the Germans in Germany at about that same time. Russell is 103, and he's a frequent participant with the VBC, and we love having him on. Thank you, Russell.
Well, I think from the descriptions I've been hearing, the Pacific War was a much harder and difficult war than in Europe. For one thing, in Europe, we had roads and buildings. All they had in the Pacific was jungle and small mountains. And I'm amazed at Neal's knowledge of what happened. It's sure out Frank's mind.
You said that very well.
Well, thank you, Russell. Russell, just one question for you. While you were fighting in Europe in 1945, were you and your soldier friends even aware of what was going on in the Pacific? Did you follow that part of the war?
I would say we were very unaware of the fighting in the Pacific, except we would hear of a landing on an island and MacArthur's return to the Philippines, but we did not know anything of the nitty-gritty of what was going on. And I think the Japanese soldier, from what I'm hearing, was much more of a ferocious soldier than a German. The Germans were mean, but the Japanese were fierce fighters. Yeah.
And Neal and James, I don't think James is unmuted, but let me ask you the same. While you're out there fighting in the Pacific, did you have any awareness of the war in Europe?
Not specifically, but we were, when the war ended, I think on May 12th, someone can correct me, or was it April 12th? Yes. And we were looking forward to help the Army, more from the Army and for European theater to come to the Pacific theater and help us. Mind you, that we hadn't dropped any nuclear bombs yet.
Yeah.
And Okinawa was the principal reason for dropping the 2 nuclear bombs.
Yeah. And I would imagine, Russell, had it not been for the end of the war in the Pacific, your unit would have been transferred to the Pacific to participate in the invasion of Japan.
Yes, that's what we're expecting to happen, that we would be transferred as infantrymen because the Pacific was not a place where you could use armored divisions at all. And I was in an armored division.
Yeah.
And there were 16 armored divisions in Europe. All that would be gone in the Pacific.
Yeah.
It would be much more individual infantrymen.
Yeah. Well,
and
James,
so on.
James, who I think you came on a little bit late, Russell, James Wheeler, who we're going to tell his story next Thursday, was in a tank battalion in 193rd Tank Battalion. And that's, tanks were used differently in the Pacific. They were just sort of in support of the infantry. And James's story, which we'll tell next week, 193rd Tank Battalion in Okinawa, is pretty fascinating. James, were you able to hear very much?
Were you able to hear? Oh, yes, I could hear very good.
Did that film of Neal in Okinawa how did you feel watching that and seeing those places in Okinawa?
Well, a whole lot of stuff going on that I saw, but I didn't realize what it was all about. I didn't have anybody to tell me. Oh, I just was in the tank and we done what the tank commander said.
Yep.
Very, May I make a comment here?
Of course.
On Okinawa, the Army had flamethrowing tanks, and they assigned some of them to us. And that's a formidable weapon. I don't know how many yards it can throw a flame, but it was a very valuable and useful tool, very much so, and a fearsome weapon.
When my dad was really aware of that, they were trying to take a hill and they were firing and he couldn't break loose. And they rolled one of those tanks up there and dropped a napalm and they were shooting the Japs as they come out on fire.
Yes, I'm laughing now, but that's quite true, James. And well, war is a war at and no holds barred at that time.
Yeah, the ferocity, the gruesomeness, the ugliness of it all. Again, I hate to keep promoting it. They should pay me some money to promote it. That miniseries, The Pacific, shows it all so graphically that it's hard to watch for civilians. I see that Bob Flage has had his hand up for a while. Bob, please
Yes,
ask your
sir.
question.
It's interesting that the Army and Marines were expecting some help from the European campaign, and there was plans for it. My youngest uncle was in the 17th Airborne. He jumped in varsity, the big jump in Germany, and at the end of when they were up at the Eagle's Nest and all that, they decided, well, they were told that they were going to be merged to another division, airborne division. And a bunch of these guys said, we don't want to merge with them. We'd rather go to Japan. And they volunteered for it. And I don't know where exactly he was, but either on a boat or getting ready to get on a boat. But they turned around and shipped him back to New York, and he got discharged August 26th. So, there was plans to go help the other guys over there. So, but it's interesting that how it got turned around.
Our own local veteran that we love so much, Warren Goss, landed on Utah Beach the morning of D-Day, fought his way through the Pacific, but he has a great story he's told. He told me this when we were visiting the World War II Museum last year in New Orleans, that he came back home after the end of the European War on leave, on furlough, spent a couple of weeks with his family here in Pittsburgh. And then I don't think Warren would mind me saying this because he told it in front of quite a few people. The day he left Pittsburgh to get on a train to go to the West Coast, he said was the only day of the war he cried, because he felt that by the time he got to the Pacific and the invasion of Japan took place, he would not make it through another campaign. He made it through 11 months in the European theater, and he just thought his chances of living through the invasion of Japan were next to zero. And, it's a powerful story when he tells that. Are there any other questions? I want to get to a little bit of the life after the war. And anybody else have a question?
A couple people asked that same question.
Okay. And James, we'll cover your life after the war next week. But Neal, you come back. You're 19 years old. You fought World War II in the Pacific. What did you end up doing?
Nothing at first. We had $20 for 52 weeks. Rocking chair money, we called it. But I spent a lot of time visiting my old buddies. A lot of time. I eventually went to Great Falls Teaching College in Montana, and I did 2 years there. And I later graduated from the University of Maryland in international relations, but that never bought me a cup of coffee. So I spent a career with the U.S. Customs Enforcement Division. And I spent some time of that in Paris and in London. And after I retired from the U.S. Customs, I had an opportunity to go and work with the State Department, do a technical service for them. This is doing perestroika and glasnost in Moscow. That's when they built a new embassy in Moscow, and they bugged every room. We let the Russians build our embassy. So we didn't trust one another there. So every 90 days, I had to go to Helsinki, Finland. That was great. And my wife was able to join me there, and it was just wonderful. I did a lot of ocean sailing.
Neal, excuse me, I put up a photo that the audience is seeing of the Sundancer.
Oh, yeah, the Sundancer, yes.
Tell us about that.
That was my first voyage across the North Atlantic solo. I was a little bit crazy then, but I did form. I had a beautiful sailing yacht that had all the bells and whistles and even air conditioning, which you don't need at sea. And I sailed twice. I sailed to Gibraltar and covered a lot of countries in between, and then come back by Northwest Africa and Cape Verde. That's where the hurricanes start out from. And then I'd follow the trade winds to Brazil or to Fort-de-France and Martinique, and make my way back to America. And my wife would join me at times, and we had quite a life.
Neal, I got to believe that you have the adventure gene in your DNA.
I did. I must tell you real quickly that I ran away from home after reading Jack London books.
Yeah.
but I came back and of course Jack London he had a yacht, and he took it to the Solomon Islands, Guadalcanal, and was raving how beautiful it was. And when I arrived there, it looked the same, beautiful. But sure, let me tell you, that's one hellhole.
Yeah.
Full of diseases.
Well, we're near the end of our hour and a half with James. I just, before we see if there's any other questions, I want to thank Beth Ruschel for all the knowledge and research you've done. We really appreciate that, turning up that movie clip with the Best Defense Foundation. Brad, you're always a great help with these programs. Sean, thank you. And certainly want to honor our other World War II vets. I think James Wheeler might have had to step away, and Russell, I think he might have stepped away too. But thank you,
Neal. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Beth, so much.
Any last minute questions? Sean, we're all good for next week. We've got James Wheeler next Thursday. Forgotten, what is our Monday program, Sean?
Linebacker 1.
Linebacker 1, Vietnam. Okay. And let me also thank the McGowans. Bob and Carol, thank you so very much for your efforts in keeping Neal on the straight and narrow. Don't let
They are great people.
Neal, I hope you can join us next week and listen in on James Wheeler's story.
I do. I look forward to talking to James.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Everybody have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Neal.
But